going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Vice President DiGirolamo, if you would reading the open public meeting statement, please.
This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of March 20th, 2018 was included in a notice sent to newspapers of record and posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and has remained continuously posted as the required notices under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk.
Folks, before we do the invocation and the flag salute, I would ask that when we do, we could take a moment of silence for Phillipsburg employee Paul Smith, whose family had suffered two losses this week with both his uncle and his sister. Just to let Paul know that we are thinking of him. I'd also like to ask that we pray for the successful healing of the two young victims from this morning's tragedy at the Great Mills High School in Maryland. So if we wouldn't mind rising for the invocation of the flag salute.
Lord, we are meeting today to conduct matters of business, guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. God bless the town of Phillipsburg, the state of New Jersey, and the United States of America. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I also think we have the Okay. Roll call vote, Vicki.
Council President Phillipsburg.
Here.
Council Vice President DiGirolamo.
Here.
Councilman Davis. Councilman Lutz.
Here.
Councilman McVeigh.
Here. Okay. Take a look through the bills list.
Current fund, $84,498.10. State and federal grants, $1,549.36. Capital fund, $192,307.85. Sewage utility fund, $9,189.11. Sewage capital fund, $9,259.72. Section 8, $122. Agency fund, $261.40. A regular bill list for March 20th, $297,187.54. Section 8 rent payments for the month of March is $142,072. The prepaid bill list, current fund, $120. State and federal grants, $37,500. Agency fund, $115,867.68 for a prepaid bill list of $188,487.68. Grand total of all funds, $627,747.22.
Excellent. Do we have a motion to accept the bill list?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Yeah, okay. Otis elevator for $8,028.40. My calculation on the paper, it says from 10/17 to 10/18. Why are we getting the bill now? When we don't even use the elevator? We're not supposed to be using the elevator. Mayor?
Yes, Mark, that is something that the Department of Community Affairs required us to keep that inspection up. As long as it's operating in the building, and from time to time, I guess we have to go down into the basement for different things, servicing the heating units and stuff like that. They would not let us not inspect the elevator.
And I thought from when I first came on council, we all decided, all council members decided to go local for contractors to do repairs for the town of Phillipsburg. And Casey Church Contracting keeps on coming up, and he's not from town. I just can't understand why his name keeps coming up to fix the gutters on the municipal building on Fillmore Street. I don't imagine we have local contractors that can do the same exact thing. That's all I have to say about that. That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Vice President DeGirolamo.
Bill 72258, relocation of the control stations. Is that for the police? Communications?
Yes.
Where have they been relocated to?
That's a good question. Mayor?
Yeah,
Thank you.
it was just preliminary engineering. Maybe Stan could help out. This was about the move to the Armory, correct? And the
No.
communication towers.
It says natural systems utilities, relocate control
Oh,
stations.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
This is,
sewer?
yeah, I didn't hear the first part of it. This is the sewage treatment plant.
Okay.
Those were deteriorated and beyond repair, so they had to be replaced. That comes out of the
sewer
budget.
capital?
Yeah, the sewer capital,
Okay.
which is adequately funded.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Councilman McVeigh?
Check number 72279, mileage for classes, $234.44. If that's for gas, I have two questions. Where were the classes at? Being that's absorbing amount of money for gas, in addition to, I know we had the bill recently for the 9 set of keys. Why wasn't it was stated that the Durango was used for community purposes or for staff purposes? Why wasn't that vehicle in town gas use instead of getting a separate bill out for that class? So either one.
Let me get back to you, Councilman, on that. I really can't answer that question right now. I have to.
I would encourage that if we do have the vehicle.
The vehicle is available, so that was mileage, right?
Yes,
I'll get you an answer.
that would, yeah, because it would be at high for gas, yeah.
Should be at the IRS where that's.
Right.
So awaiting the mayor's communications, we will go ahead and move to table check number 72279.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And then you second.
Second.
Councilman, did you have any?
Oh, no, I thought you wanted to discuss that, I'm sorry. No, I'm good.
Councilman Davis?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. I don't have anything, so we can move to,
We're gonna vote on the motion to remove that check.
okay, so we will go ahead and vote, roll call, Vicky, to remove check number 72279, or table it until the next meeting. Roll call vote.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Phillipsburg?
Yes. And now we'll do a roll call on the bills list.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Phillipsburg?
Yes. Moving forward, we can go ahead with public comment on agenda items. If you wish to speak, go ahead and take the podium, and I'd appreciate if you state your name and address for the record and make sure that the microphone is on. And folks, we do have a packed house, so we are going to keep it to a 5-minute limit.
Agenda Municipal Budget 2018-66. In light of the inspections report, who needs 2.5 more people to keep up? The McVeigh motion for a code inspector that needs 1 person. The council moving 2 chores to the clerk who is already overburdened needing 1 person. The landlord tenant calling for universal yearly inspections needing 2.5 people. This is an increase of $900,000 roughly in personnel costs. If you use a base of 11 million, which is really from 2 years ago, that's an 8% increase. At 17 million, it's still under the state law at 5% with the extension.
If you don't
I just
mind,
want to make sure you know what's in there.
Joe, what scale are you using to come up with the $900,000?
I'm using 100,000 for professional help.
Well, we're not paying everybody $100,000, so.
Well, if you're paying them 80, it costs you 100. by the
I
time
don't
you
think we're
get
going that far either, but thank you.
The base I was using was 100,000.
Okay, no, I was just curious, thank you. Scared me a little bit, thought maybe you had a conversation with Mr. Merlo that I did not.
Oh, no.
Thank
I use it from police cost. They
Well,
cost about $100,000.
thanks. Do we have anyone else with public comment? Please come to the podium, state your name, address for the record.
Is it in your budget? It is.
I'll explain.
Good evening, Jim Kleiner, 318 Ohio Avenue. Here tonight, I would like to just thank the council for considering resolutions 2018-64, excuse me, and 2018-65, reappointing the municipal clerk and the deputy clerk. To me, it validates and recognizes the commitment, dedication, and hard work and tireless efforts of this office and all of its staff. As each of you vote on this resolution tonight, I ask that you vote with consideration to the residents of the town and the important function that this office and its staff brings to its day-to-day operation. I don't need to stand here and cheerlead for them. I believe actions speak louder than words. And it's pretty obvious that this office and its staff is an important spoke in the wheel that will keep Phillipsburg moving forward. I believe anything less than a 5-0 vote tonight for both of these resolutions, it would be a great disservice to the town and its residents. This office, as with many others, is a valuable resource and a staple of the community. And will continue to be, regardless of who may be sitting up here or who may be in office. On a more personal note, I would like to thank the entire council for the overwhelming support, respect shown to not only the clerk's office, but to my wife, Vicki. Unfortunately, I've witnessed, excuse me, with frustration, the marginalizing and dismissive behavior of this current administration, and its attempts to ostracize, professionally disrespect, humiliate, and the list goes on and on. But I choose not to digress any further with the hope of moving forward. And I'm glad you're here tonight, Mr. Mayor. It is, in the last few months, my family and I have gotten back the strong, confident, and passionate person that I married over 30 years ago. She no longer cries night after night, wondering what she's doing wrong to promote this type of behavior towards her. You have given her the support to work through it, and in no doubt will she continue as she has to give you everything she has, and this town. Which, by the way, she considers this position an honor to serve in. Regardless of how it ends up, I close with a simple thank you, sincerely.
Mr. Timmons, say your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, Bill Timmon, 230 South Main Street. Ordinance 2018-06, I hope you adopt with no qualms or questions. And don't vote on ordinance 2018-06A because of certain potential conditions and additional costs and inconvenience that would cause the citizens of the town of Phillipsburg. Other than that, I also back Mr. Kleiner's statements. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Timmons. Mr. Boyce.
Well,
hopefully I'm doing this right. Dan Boyce, 244 Irwin Street.
Yes, sir.
This is concerning the ethics ordinance. Now the time to speak.
Yes, sir.
I think this is of the utmost importance for the town. As I said one time before, and as obviously you know, I had pushed and was dealing behind the scenes to bring that industry into town. That industry happened to be Wakefern, a part of Wakefern. Every time an important question came up, we couldn't get an answer for it because there was so much negativity going on, so many lies that had to be dealt with constantly, that they decided to go across the river. So not only did the town lose, but the state lost as well. I'm still talking to them about possibly bringing a smaller part here, but who knows what that's going to do. I think it's really important that we stop. I know there's some people here that don't want to see any industry, they don't want to see businesses, they want to see, I don't know what they want to see, but I know they don't want to see that. And I don't know how we're supposed to function as a town without anything like that. You're not just going to function, it's not Hooterville. You know, another thing is, in ethics, very important, if ethics were in place all around, it could have eliminated like some of these school shootings and things. Hopefully it's not coming into this town, anything like that, but we need strong moral guidance like that to prevent things like this from happening. And personally, I think it is of the importance that if any of you don't vote for it, I will do everything in my power to see that you don't get reelected to anything you run for again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ms. Wallace, state your name and address for the record, please.
Melissa Paulus, 26A Glen Avenue. I also feel the same way about the clerk's office. I do believe that the clerk should be reappointed. I've had a lot of dealings with her over the last year, and I have to say that if she gets cooperation, she's able to do her job. And from what I have been experiencing, she's not getting the support that she needs. Most recently, I submitted an Oprah request dated February 14th. I received her documents. I did not receive the mayor's documents. And as Mr. Davis or Councilman Davis, excuse me, had stated previously, well, you can file a complaint with the Government Records Council. Well, that falls back then on the clerk as the custodian of records, and she is not the one that's not giving me the records that I've requested. It's actually the mayor that has not provided the documents to her, and from what I understand, he's very well aware of my request, as he has requested he be notified of all of my requests that I make. Now, I don't know why I'm being singled out, but whatever. I'd like to know when I can expect to receive those documents. They're well overdue.
You said you made that request on February 14th?
Correct.
And the only one that you haven't received was the mayor's office?
Correct.
I would have known that there were documents due, you would have had the documents. I was aware of Oprah requests for emails. That's the only Oprah request I was aware of.
Memos, emails, text messages, private messages, social media messaging, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, to and from Mayor Ellis regarding any town business, employee-related, and relative to the governing body. It includes department heads, employees, governing body, attorneys, Wenner, Troxel, Landry. And of course, with the exclusion of any that have already been designated as attorney-client privilege for the time period of November 1st to the present date of February 14th. Ms. Kleiner did say that she did show you that Oprah request, as you have previously requested that you see all of my Oprah requests.
No, I'm sorry, that is not true, Ms. Wallace. I did not ever request to see all of your Oprah.
And you're saying that you never saw this?
I did not. But I will look into it tomorrow, and I will get back either to Vicki or you, whoever you choose, and find out the status of these Oprah requests. The only Oprah request that I was informed about were emails, and it was a month or so ago, and I thought it was concluded.
That you had provided those emails to her.
Well, my secretary provided those emails, I would believe. I would have to ask the clerk. Vicki, did Sherry give you the emails that Melissa Paulus requested?
That was, the emails I received was for a different Oprah.
Well, that's the only Oprah I know about, but if there are other Oprahs, I have no problem whatsoever providing that
Okay,
information.
thank you very much. And I'd like to also address why the mayor is not returning the emails that I have sent directly to him requesting meetings or updates as to the status of town halls.
It's a matter of time. And if, I'll bring your name up to the top of my email list tomorrow and do the best I can to answer. But if you saw the amount of emails I got in one day, you can just do it.
Well, I had emailed you back at February 13th, asking to the status of the town hall meetings. You had replied that you would be scheduling those town hall meetings by the end of the week.
I did see those emails. And for one reason or another, it got pushed back. But again, if you were in my shoes on a day-to-day basis, you might understand a little better. But I will do my best tomorrow to respond to each and every email.
I'd appreciate that,
Not a
because it's
problem.
long overdue, and I feel as a resident and a taxpayer of this town, I think it is your duty to reply to these inquiries, questions, concerns, anything to that status. Otherwise, as I've stated to the council previously, that I really do feel that you're not doing your job. And I have requested they decrease your salary for lack of performing your job duties.
I would like to say, I don't think you know what I do. I don't think
No, I really don't know what you do.
There isn't a waking
No
moment.
one here knows what you do
There
because
isn't.
you don't.
Can you speak into the mic, please?
Okay, guys. Ms. Bowles, you're reaching your 15-second mark.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Darrell from Allentown, and also with the Delaware Riverside Business Association. I read your final reading here. Nowhere does it mention about senior citizen pass, disabled veterans pass, or veterans pass. Is this going to be your final reading without the exemptions for those people I just mentioned?
Absolutely. We were supposed to have the senior citizen and the veterans.
We had that, no, because we adopted, well, not according to my notes. I circulated it.
We do have in the current ordinance a 15% discount that applies to any permit for all those categories. It's an existing ordinance, so that discount would fall into all of these.
Right, but we had agreed that they would be, the veterans and the seniors would be free.
Yes, you did.
No, that was-
3 times now.
Right. That wasn't part of the notice. Because I raised the concern about exempting certain classes of people wholly from the parking requirements. So what we did at first reading, the last.
Can't hear you.
What we did at the first reading of the last meeting was to adopt, I believe, 5 amendments to the existing ordinance that was presented. And that version is what's before the council tonight as well as the agenda.
And you're not exempting veterans, disabled veterans, or senior citizens. They're still paying.
That was not,
After 10 months, and this is the best you can come up with.
that was not what was adopted at the last meeting. It was not part of the amendments adopted by the council.
We've discussed it since last June, sir.
I'm not disagreeing with that, I'm just saying that was not what was adopted at the last meeting.
I know it wasn't adopted, you gotta keep having revisions.
I still want to research. My understanding, as everyone knows, was what was adopted at the last meeting was the final version as it stands now, to get the ball moving, and we're going to explore options regarding other exemptions, as mentioned, senior citizens and the veterans. But I did raise a concern, and I raised a concern not only with the veterans and the senior citizens, but also as related to shad fishermen in general, giving a wholesale exemption for parking in the Riverside Way lot, which is why the version that's in front of you tonight calls out a special event permit, or seasonal permit is what we classified it as, and $25 for residents of the town, $35 for non-residents of the town of Phillipsburg from April 1 to November 1 to be able to utilize the Riverside Way parking lot. So everything was adopted at the last meeting is listed for you. And that doesn't mean the council can't subsequently amend the ordinance to address those concerns or those
But
requests.
this is the final read, is it not?
Yeah, but it can always be amended afterwards.
And then you're saying that seniors, veterans, and the elderly, disabled are gonna be paying a fee.
No, there's already a discount in the town, there's already a discount in the town code. for that.
Discount, that means you're still paying.
Yes, yes.
Sir, to be quite honest with you, although I disagree, my colleagues are in support of it. And in the best interest of passing this ordinance this evening, we do need the 4 votes to get this through. I understand, and if it were up to me, I'd put it in there right now. Unfortunately, I have to support my colleagues as well.
What about the people who serve their country, pal?
Sir, I can tell you that I fully do support our veterans.
That's a shame. You people don't realize what you're losing in this town. Don't laugh, sir. I'm serious. Sir.
I understand, but before we get too far, please, I understand. We need to keep a strict decorum, and I understand, and trust me, this panel absolutely does support our veterans 110%.
I'm not saying you don't. That was his statement, not mine, sir.
No, I understand. I do.
There is an efficient tournament for this country that brings in $10,000, $15,000. You realize, for a tournament, 4-day tournament, you realize how many people are gonna be coming to this city?
Sure, the tournaments are excluded, though. They are free. The Shad tournament, that tournament?
Yeah, 4 days.
Yeah, that's free. That's free for everyone.
For 4 days.
Yep, that's in the ordinance. Absolutely.
But the rest of the time, everybody pays.
Well, there's a seasonal permit, there is a seasonal permit that Council, Vice President DiGirolamo and Councilman Lutz had proposed at the last meeting and that we had agreed upon, which was, I believe $25 for Phillipsburg residents and $35 for non-Phillipsburg residents.
And where do you get these permits at then?
The municipal building will be at the clerk's office. Yes, sir. Any more public comment?
I would just, Mike Hinkle, Storesville, New Jersey. I would just like to clarify from the last meeting what went down. And I had a shot in the eye for macular edema, and my hearing stinks. And I was under the understanding that we would talk about the disabled.
It was discussed, but that proposed amendment was not adopted at that meeting. So the issue was discussed, sir. It was.
It was.
It was discussed amongst the council. It wasn't ultimately put into the.
I wouldn't let that happen if you voted on it. I'm sort of in the middle here. I didn't invite my friends down here because of the weather is the way it was. We know there was a snow emergency. I'm not going to bring people 20, 30 miles to come in here to argue. I'm sort of taken aback by the whole thing now. First to tell me $25. And down the road we got 35 for the out-of-towners and 25 for the residents. Just like that. And it seems like you don't care. That's what it seems like. And then just like that, you don't have the disabled permit, you don't have the senior citizens permit. And then we got, all of a sudden, you asked me when does fishing season start? It's already started. It starts January 1st and runs to December 31st. There's no starting time on the river. Then all of a sudden, we're going from April to November. Where guys paying it for a permit for that time, and then we're going to have to pay by the hour for the time after that. It's like double dipping, just to go fishing. Something just didn't seem right with me here today. And to hear this, I thought all that stuff was done. Now I hear this, and it's like, wait a minute. It's not calculating here, gentlemen. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay, there being none, we can move forward with the second reading. Ordinance number 2008-06, the second and final reading with amendments, which is the ordinance of the Town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 67 Vehicles and Traffic, Section 28 Parking Lots of the Town of Phillipsburg, New Jersey. That is ordinance number 2018-06, not 2018-06A.
So moved.
Second. Discussion? I did. Discussion? Roll call vote, Vicki?
Councilman Lutz?
Has to be open to the public.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can open this up for public discussion as well. There being none, roll call vote, Vicki?
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Fulper?
Yes, with the, I would just like to recommend to council that we, at one point in time, reconsider the seniors and veterans. That's all I have. Motion carries. Ordinance number 2018-07, an ordinance of the Town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 67 Vehicles and Traffic, Section 28 Parking Lots of the Code of Phillipsburg in order to delete subsection 1 entitled Municipal Lots Payment Required. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. So it is open to the public? There being none, roll call vote, Vicki?
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Fulper?
Yes. Motion carries. Ordinance number 2018-08, an ordinance repealing Chapter 53, Ethics Code, and replaced with a new Chapter 53, Municipal Ethics Board of the Code of the Town of Phillipsburg. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion for the public? God bless you.
Once again, now I don't know who I'm voting for, this isn't going to decide who I'm going to vote for. But I would strongly encourage that you don't pass this because you have a very strong, quite neutral ethics law that uses out-of-town people as your ethics board, which is superior to having a local ethics board. It's just plain too personal. I hope 3 of you go against, that's all.
Thank you for your comment, Joe. Anyone else?
I didn't get a chance to finish. Willis Falls, 26A Glen Avenue. I totally support this. You have no idea how much it's needed in this town. I've only been coming to meetings for less than a year, and I've witnessed a lot of stuff that needs to be addressed. There's a lot of unethical behavior being committed, if you want to call it that, within this current administration that needs to be addressed. And if you have to go through the state, you're going to wait forever. I know that there are 3 members that are new to government. Well, Mr. McVeigh, or Councilman McVeigh, yes, you are familiar with the way government works. It's very slow. So if we have to wait to go through the DCA for an ethics review, you're going to be waiting a long time, and it's wasted time and wasted money. Like I've stated before, there's a lot of what I call liabilities to us taxpayers that's happening, and it needs to be addressed immediately. So I totally support this. I know the people that I've spoken to within this room, as well as outside of this room, and with my neighbors, they also support this. So I would encourage there be a 5-0 vote.
Thank you, Ms. Parks. Joe, I won't tolerate the negative behavior.
You mean they can applaud, but I can't take the official position?
You're done, Joe.
Yeah.
Mr. Morissette. Hello, David Morissette, 5 Fairview Heights, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. I urge you to keep the current ethics set up the way it is. The politics locally are not such that I think it is a good idea to have the ethics board local. When the ethics board is removed from the town and at the state level, it is fair. It may be a little bit slower, but if you have a choice between slow and fair, and quick and possibly partisan, I and many of the people I know and my neighbors choose slow and fair. Thank you. Thank you for your comment, Mr. Morissette.
Should we clap?
Absolutely.
Can't take the opposition?
I would absolutely encourage clapping, but I would not encourage booing to someone who's coming to speak. Okay?
Wow, really? You gotta go.
Mr. Clark.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Lee Clark, 141 Heffney Street. I will make this quick. I would ask that the council also vote against this. The reason I say this is because on municipal level ethics board, I see too many conflicts of interest, and for the ethics of our town, I feel it's in the best interest of our town to keep it at the state level. The state level being distant enough where there is no conflict of interest within the politics of our town will be better suited. We heard that it's a slower process, as we also heard that it's a fairer process. How I was raised, if you want something done right, you gotta take the time and the investment to do it right. Some things, it's better to do things quick, but not in this case, because of essentially what's riding on this. So I would ask you to vote against this, because it's in the best interest of the town and the residents to keep our internal politics out of the ethics of what's going on here, and keep it at the state level where there's enough distance, enough perspective to provide a fair and balanced judgment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clark, for your comment. Mr. Boyce, state your name and address for the record, please.
Dan Boyce, 244 Irwin. Again, I'm going to reiterate that I hope you do pass this. I keep hearing that it's time to keep ethics out. No, it's not. It's time to bring ethics back in. We want to keep it in the way it is, with nothing but lies and contradictions and deceivement. You're not going to go forward, no matter what you do. Something needs to be done. It needs to be done now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Is there anyone else? Excellent. There being none, we can move forward. Roll call vote, Vicki.
Councilman Lutz?
I have a question first, if you don't mind.
No, please ask.
If we have the municipal ethics board, the final decision isn't ours, right? That gets sent down to the state for final approval?
Correct. That's correct.
So why are we doing this?
Well, it would be as an appeal, but I think that it's also a quicker process. It's a recommendation.
But they have to go through their slow process to process it and say okay or nay.
Well, I think it would still be an appeal. From what I've read in the ordinance, the decision would come down from our municipal ethics ordinance. The appeal would then go to DCA.
Could you
right?
walk
Division
through
of Local
the
Finance.
process?
So it would go to the division of the local finance board for final say. So it's it's like appealing a court case and going to a higher court.
So it's section 53-13, F. Final decision of the ethics board may be appealed to the local finance board within 30 days of the decision.
May be appealed.
Yeah, so the aggrieved person has the right to appeal if they want to.
Right, so if you brought an ethics violation against me and I chose not to appeal.
Like a court appeal.
Correct, yeah. Only it doesn't cost you money for an attorney.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. I am going to vote no.
Okay.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
No.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Fulper?
Yes. Okay, motion carries, and we will move forward to the first reading of our ordinances, which are, we don't have any. We don't have to do that. Josh, you want to read it?
Good, thanks.
Okay. So, new business? Councilman Lewis, you have anything?
No, thank you.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
No.
Councilman McVeigh?
No, sir.
Councilman Davis?
No.
Wow, I got some things, guys. Try and make it quick, but I would like to make a motion after speaking with CFO Marlowe today and talking to a few of the crossing guards. I'd like to motion that we amend either this year's salary ordinance to reflect the changes by Mr. Marlowe that would include Mr. Marlowe's amendments to the budget for the salary ordinance, and also include a guaranteed $1.50 increase proposed by council for every crossing guard on our payroll. These men and women are the ones who bear the extreme cold, the rain, the wind, and everything Mother Nature and our children put them through. So I would ask that we as a collective can show our appreciation by providing them with this $1.50 raise. When you take a look at what they make in comparison, it's not much, but it's something.
So if I may, Council President, if that's the desire of the council, I can just simply amend the ordinance, present it to the council, and you'll go through the ordinance process for
Perfect.
second reading and all that.
Perfect. Thank you. And the second part of my new business is I was contacted yesterday by excuse me for 1 second just to find the paperwork. Okay, so yesterday it was brought to my attention that one of the local youth organizations suffered the loss of a coach, not by anything that we did. However, I do feel that there was an administrative failure on this end, and I think that all things considered, I think we need to go back and revisit 140-8 and 140-9 and not only implement a recreation committee, but also send the background checks back through Sage Morgan to the New Jersey State Police because there clearly was a failure. For some background, we had a coach in the youth organizations take place in a physical altercation back in March of 2017. It was reported subsequently to the superintendent of recreation after the disposition. It was reported to council and reported to the mayor's office, and I have those emails with me. I don't know why or how or where it happened or where the breakthrough was, where the breakdown in communication was, but this gentleman stayed on as a coach and was recently removed due to another issue, thanks to the mayor. The mayor did send out a letter and remove him, so Mayor, thank you for your action. But there was a breakdown in communication. We could have actually stopped this ahead of time. Most of you who know, I went through something similar to this 2 years ago, and I stated that if it happened once, it would happen again, and it happened again. So I do believe we need to go back, revisit 140-8, 140-9, do a complete rewrite, and make sure that we at the administrative level, because we cannot put this back into people's hands, because folks, they just keep doing it over and over and over again. And this is not limited to one organization, this goes through to all of them.
Is 140-8-9?
Background checks.
Ah, thank you.
Yes, for coaches and volunteers.
Got it.
Right. So if any of you, I do have the docket sheets here. If I'm able to get them as a citizen, I don't know why we weren't able to get them, and why when it was reported We didn't go out and get this information.
I'm sorry, that's a legal document?
That is a legal document from the state of Pennsylvania.
If I can make a suggestion, I think when we visit this, it's time we go to a third party.
No, I agree, that's why I'd like to go to
I've
the
used one
state.
previously. I know for a fact there's people coaching that shouldn't be. I know for a fact. I've had people take a background check with the same charges just to test it. So I know they're coaching and shouldn't be. I think it's time we take this out of our local hands and get it in a third party. We can't have this.
I would agree, Councilman.
I can't have it. I mean, I've been in a youth organization for over 20 years. I've never had this problem, ever. Because we take a very strong stance on, you're a coach, you know. I make you sign a document. You don't behave yourself, you're gone. Every coach signs it, every parent signs it. We don't hold the coaches responsible, we hold the parents responsible too. These are kids. You know what, that's not acceptable.
I will say this for the record, I did speak with a board member on the organization in question, and they fully support our measures. Again, they understand we're not holding them accountable. They would like to also know where the administrative breakdown was, and I do believe that we can rectify that by going back, revisiting 140-8 and 140-9, and implementing a recreation committee. So I would like to put something together for the attorney to take a look at, review with council, and at the next work session, go through it. Okay, thank you. Then I have nothing. We can move forward to the consent agenda. Councilman Lewis, is there anything on the consent agenda that you would like removed?
Yeah, 2018-59, wait, I'm sorry, 58, that's a junk dealer license. As long as I was on council, back in the 90s until now, we do not need a junkyard in our town. And I feel it's almost closed now. And we were told 2 or 3 years ago that this was going to be his last time. And all of a sudden, every year it keeps on coming up for the application for renewal. I hope this is the last year. I really do. I hope this is the last year that we don't see this anymore. Because I'm, for one, we don't need a junkyard in the town. Thank you.
Thank you,
Are
Councilman.
we pulling that one to discuss separate?
We are.
Okay.
2018-58, the junk dealer's license has been pulled.
Okay. So we'll comment separately then?
Yes.
And if we can have 2018-66, of course, voted on separately.
Absolutely. That's the budget.
Yep.
Would it be appropriate for us to adjourn 2018-64 and 65 to after the personnel discussion?
It's on the, with regard to, well, the personnel discussion, I'm curious as to why that's there. The 2 individuals that we personally had to rights notice, we never intended on bringing up their names. So that was just for the budget adoption. But are you saying that you would like to discuss those under personnel?
Yeah, I think it would be, I haven't heard the individual responses in terms of public or private hearing.
They've all chosen public.
Okay, thank you.
Are you saying that you would like to
Yes.
put those 2 resolutions under? When we come to you, then can you ask for that?
Sure.
Thank you. Councilman Lutz, was there anything else?
No, that's all I have. Thank you.
Council Vice President DiGiovanni.
Yeah, I'd like to pull, just to have discussion on it, 2018, I believe it's 57. No, not that one. We got the junk dealer, nope, it's somewhere else, never mind. Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Councilman McVeigh.
I'm good, sir.
Councilman Davis.
2018, 64 and 65, please.
Okay, I have nothing. So, with the exception of 2018-58, 2018-66, 2018-64, and 2018-65,
And 66.
and 2018-66. But Councilman, I did say that second. So,
I move to adopt.
I will second. Roll call vote, Vicki?
Councilman Lutz,
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh,
Yes.
Councilman Davis,
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo,
Yes.
Council President Phillipsburg.
Yes. Okay. The remaining items on the consent agenda. Get a motion. Done, Mr. Wong.
Something with discussion.
Yeah, we each one individually, okay? So 13-58, the resolution for the junk dealer's license for year 2018. Motion for that, and discussion.
All motion for 2018-58.
Second.
We can have the discussion. Councilman?
Said everything you needed?
Yeah, I said everything that I was going to say.
Just real quick, I'll add to Councilman Lutz's concern. I noticed that happens to be in a redevelopment zone. And we've currently got some other businesses we're exploring that are in the redevelopment zone with similar business practices. So knowing that, I will be voting no on this until we straighten out what our idea is of that redevelopment zone and what we will or will not allow. However, I understand this business has been operating since 1999. We don't want to appear business unfriendly, but I expect on Thursday we will have this issue wrapped up. To Councilman Lutz, I'm glad he was here, knowing this was not supposed to go on this long. I actually looked at the property, I pulled it up on Google. It sits adjacent and it's a big heap of metal, is what it is, and a bunch of cars parked out in front of it, so. There's a lot of waste, but my understanding is it's recycled. So, yeah, I'm afraid it's behind gated, so you really, unless you're illegally in there. Did do research on the business, so that's what I came up with. So I will be voting no as well.
Councilman McVeigh?
Albeit I'm extremely business friendly, especially someone that's been around for that long, I would hope that whether it's this council, this administration, or folks, it's going to take a lot longer beyond our years, that the redevelopment of this town, and the look of our town, the ideologies, where we want to go, where we have marketed ourselves to, look and brand. I would hope that we would move on from this, and I echo Councilman Lutz's sentiments.
Councilman Davis?
Yeah, my only comment is, while I think that there are probably other more desirable options in terms of business activity down there, I do believe that in the application, he does have that use approved by the planning board, and his application is clerically complete. I don't see any reason why we would withhold approval of this based on the business he's done. We haven't heard any complaints about his business, other than it might not be the most desirable one, but it does appear to conform to all the rules and regulations we've set. So I would encourage you to vote yes for someone who's following the rules in terms of what they're supposed to be doing.
Councilman, I want you to brace yourself, because I agree with you. I want you to embrace yourself right now. But what I would ask is this, because we're with the planning board approval, I don't believe we have the right to vote no after confirming with Council Winter. I would ask that we table it and seek further counsel with Attorney Winter as to what needs to be done and also await the planning board meeting. Can I get a motion for tabling 2018-58?
So moved. I'm good with that.
Councilman, are you okay with that?
Sure, second.
Excellent. Roll call vote, Vicki? I was still mesmerized.
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Phillipsburg?
Yes. Okay, moving to 2018-66. This is the budget notice. Pull that up. 66 is the next, we're going to move 64 and 65.
Did we have that right over here?
Yeah.
I did too.
Jeez. What a pack and a half.
Is this one where we need to read the full statement, right?
You can just read it, like, introduction by title, you can just read the title.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking for. I don't know that. Yeah, the actual resolution, 2018-66.
That's the one, you have it?
Thank you, Councilman. Resolution 2018-66, a resolution entitled Municipal Budget Notice. Read this whole thing.
Yes.
Be it resolved that the following statement of revenues and appropriations shall constitute the municipal budget for the year 2018. Be it resolved that said budget shall be published in the Express Times in the issue of March 23rd, 2018. The governing body of the town of Phillipsburg does hereby approve the following as the budget for the year 2018. A public hearing on the budget, tax, and resolution will be held at the Phillipsburg Housing Authority Community Building on Tuesday, April 17th, 2018 at 7 p.m., at which time place objections to said budget and tax resolution for the year 2018 may be presented by taxpayers or other interested parties. I need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? I would like to say, I'd like to first commend Bob Merlo, who felt like a ping pong ball for the past 2 weeks. I know that I put him through the ringer. He did a very good job. I spoke with him this evening, and I'm very happy to present the budget, although it not being the 3% that the mayor had boasted. I believe to enhance the quality of life, we made the appropriate changes necessary. We were still able to keep it under, and I'm very proud of the work that we did. So, roll call vote, Vicki.
Councilman Lutz?
First of all, I'd like to say, this is the first time that, I've been on 9 years, I think, it's 9 years, that we all went through the budget. Not only one person went through, we all went through the budget. And I feel very proud of what we did to come up with this. We alleviated something, but then we put something back in the betterment of the town of Phillipsburg. So I'm going to say yes. Thank you.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Phillipsburg?
Yes. Okay, so Councilman Davis, you wanted to move 2018-64 and 2018-65 to the bottom of our agenda in the personnel section, is that correct?
Well, prior to being notified that they both opted for public hearing. I think that we can probably hear these in due course if that's acceptable to.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
So we can move forward to Resolution 2018-64. A resolution of the Town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, appointing Lorraine Loudonberry as Deputy Municipal Clerk.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. There being none, roll call vote, Vicki.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Fulfer?
Yes. 2018-65, a resolution of the Town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, reappointing Victoria L. Kleiner as municipal clerk. Second.
I do have discussion. I'm sure I will be the lone dissent here. First,
I second it.
of course, assuming, sorry, I apologize, Councilman Lutz, I didn't mean to interject. Did you have any comments or report?
No, not really.
Thank you, if I may. Certainly, I think I'm probably going to be characterized as this being a political stance, which it is not. I've had the opportunity to work with Vicki for 2 years, and while I like her very much as a person, I appreciate the work she's done. I think that there are still some skills and knowledge that she requires in order to fully fulfill the duties of her office. Specifically, last year I emailed her to request some information about an open request that was denied to one of our citizens, which I thought was denied for an illegal reason. I didn't get the full report that I was looking for in terms of understanding what we were doing with the open request. We had multiple meetings last year that were canceled as a function of not having them notified correctly, and we had gotten minutes several times that were well past the time that the meetings had happened and made it difficult to recall what happened in the meeting. So at this time, I won't be voting for the reappointment of Vicki to the clerk's office.
You talking about Vicki or the mayor?
That's all.
Councilman?
If I work a very erratic schedule. If I don't stop up and see Vicki during the week, I'll at least call her at the end of the week and thank her for everything she's done for this town and everything that she will do for this town. May I address Councilman Davis?
You may.
How many times have you stopped up and seen Vicki in 2018?
I do not.
2017, let's try that. Maybe that's a little better for you.
As much as I would enjoy it, I won't.
Very good. Thank you very much.
With you.
All right. I'm good.
The only thing I'll add, to be honest, I didn't know, despite all the years living here, exactly what the clerk's office did until we went to newly appointed elected training and learned that, now I've sat at meetings, I understand where Councilman Davis is coming from. However, when I learned that less than 7% of all people that take the certification test to achieve what Vicki has achieved, I find that pretty impressive. So you don't get there by not knowing what you're supposed to be doing. So I am absolutely in favor of reappointment.
Councilman Davis, we've had this conversation in the past, and I'm going to address you, and you don't have to say anything back. For you to say that this is not political. You can point of order, but I will speak.
Well, as a point of order, it's not. We're not supposed to be debating.
Well, your point has been heard, and you've been overruled. For you to tell me that this is not political, let me explain something to you, Councilman. I have two witnesses willing to give a sworn affidavit that when you were elected, in a room filled with the mayor and other individuals, you referred to Ms. Kleiner as dumb and inept. Excuse me.
Son of a...
So this is when you bring politics into this town. This is why we needed that ethics ordinance. So let me explain something. This was ridiculous. That was poor showing. Poor showing. You all talk about all of this transparency, but that didn't happen. But Councilman, the truth is you can't get over that you lost an election in November of 2017. And God thank that you did. Because if you did not, No, it's true, Councilman.
This is such an
If you
album
did,
for side
quite
bar.
frankly, Councilman,
Yeah.
I don't care. There's the door. Okay?
Take it. Take it.
Let me explain something.
I
Excuse
think
me.
you're doing a disservice to the town by.
I'm doing a disservice to the town? What have you done in 2 years besides give your parents a stop sign and give your friends jobs?
What? I gave my parents a stop sign? This is
Stop.
This is absurd.
Completely, this is ridiculous.
Now, I will complete my statement. Okay? I am as transparent gets. Councilman, I am disgusted by what I heard, and if I have to pull them people in, I will do it. But ever since I took the oath of office, Vicky has done nothing but help me. Constantly. I've seen her written up for the most ridiculous of things. I've seen emails back and forth that have been degrading. Rather than degrading someone, you should be encouraging them. Take a note, because I have been nothing but respectful to you up until this evening.
And I've done the same, but I'll take the note that this is the way that I guess we'll have our conversations from now on.
Oh, sir, if you like that, we can do that any day of the week. Mr. Lovitz, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Thank you. I'm going to vote yes, because she deserves it. Because had we lost that election, she wouldn't have gotten this opportunity. Vicki, I'm proud to know you, and I'm proud that you're here. Roll call vote.
Councilman Lutz.
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
No.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo.
Yes.
Council President Phillipsburg.
Yes. Thank you.
The door.
Congratulations, Vicki. Okay. Moving forward. We have old business. We have a tabled ordinance 2018-6A, which I believe we can untable.
Floor is yours.
I'm sorry. Did you say something, Joe?
Lori.
No, we
Passed.
passed it?
No, you did.
No, we did 64.
This guy's gotta go.
65 vote.
Oh, you did both of them
Kill the
together?
door.
Yes, sir.
Give them separate.
That's okay. Okay, so we're going to move forward. 2018-6A, an ordinance of the Town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 67, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 28, Parking Lots of the Code of the Town of Phillipsburg.
Do you need a motion on the table?
Yes. I do.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, discussion. There being none, roll call vote, Vicki.
Councilman Lutz.
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh.
Yes.
On table.
I gave a yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo.
Yes.
Council President Phillipsburg.
Yes. Now we need to vote on the ordinance of the Town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 67, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 28, Parking Lots of the Code in Town of Phillipsburg.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call vote, Vicki.
Councilman Lutz.
No.
Councilman McVeigh.
No.
Councilman Davis.
No.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo.
No.
Council President Phillipsburg.
No. Ordinance number 2018-05, which was the first reading, or February 20th, 18, tabled February 20th, 18, amended at work session March 13, 2018. It's an ordinance of the Town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, deleting Chapter 464 rental property in its entirety and replacing it with a new Chapter 464 rental property.
So moved.
Second. Are we on table?
Yeah.
On table.
Discussion.
Now, is this the second reading then?
It's first reading, John.
And this is what you're voting on right now?
We do have a second. There being no discussion, roll call vote, Vicki.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo? Yes. Council President Colbert?
Yes. Okay, an ordinance of the Town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, deleting Chapter 464 rental property in its entirety and replacing it with a new Chapter 464 rental property for first reading. Need a motion.
So moved.
Discussion?
Second.
Yeah, my discussion is, I did take a look at that, the unpublished appellate court decision regarding the differentiation of the registration fee versus the licensing fee. And I understand the difference that's been drawn with this ordinance. However, I think we might want to, because that one is still somewhat untested legally, because that decision was unpublished, we might want to go even a step further and remove the registration fee entirely and charge an inspection fee as opposed to having a registration fee so that the regulatory activity is linked to the actual action being done.
So, Councilman, actually, I don't think that's a bad idea. But how would you, can you explain to me the process? So we would just charge them as they are inspected?
Yeah, that would be, unless there's a legal binding that I'm not aware of, I think that would probably be the best way to tie the regulatory action to the cost, as well as I think it has an increased cost to those who aren't acting in accordance with what we think is good behavior, because if there is a good reason for further inspections, they're charged for additional rental inspections. So I think that would add to our final goal.
Council President?
Yes, sir.
That's what the state does too. They charge each apartment instead of having a registration fee, they charge each apartment.
I'm in full agreement. I think it's a great idea.
So there would be amending the ordinance to remove the registration fee requirement. Leave it with inspections, that's correct?
Do we need to establish via ordinance a fee for inspection, Counselor?
We should already have inspection fees codified.
Okay.
But to the extent that we don't, we would need to do that.
They aren't in the public record.
Then, yeah, my recommendation would be to amend to remove the registration fee, and then as a further action item, we can move to codify the fee for that if it's not already established somewhere in the town codes. That'd be, and I move for that.
I'll second. Any roll call vote, Vicki?
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Colbert?
Yes.
And you vote on it as amended, yes.
As
Roll call as amended.
So roll call as amended, Vicki?
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Colbert?
Yes. Okay, Resolution 2018-53, which is tabled on March 6, 2018. A resolution to provide for an application for limousine operator's license for Halim Abori.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call vote, Vicki?
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Colbert?
Yes. Now we need to vote on Resolution 2018-53. Resolution to provide an application for limousine operating license, Halim Abori.
So moved.
Second.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I still haven't seen any up-to-date application for this person.
Oh, it's in here.
Yeah, we got it.
It is in here, Councilman. Everything looked okay.
Mine's going crazy.
Yeah, there's 3 in there, so it's difficult.
Right.
Properly notarized, the insurance dates here. It's not filled out right. It's here and accurate. But it's not really.
Is he allowed to work out of Ravencroft?
Yes, there was a letter from Raven Company.
Yeah, from Village Arms, there was a letter. So they are aware that he's there. I mean, I'm not sure if it's a zoning or planning issue. The area itself is residential, yes? I guess I would ask Stan, I would defer to you, Stan. The Village Arms Apartments on Marshall Street, we have a gentleman requesting a taxi license. Can he work out of that area?
I do not want to speak for the zoning officer, but I suggest the zoning officer takes a look at the application.
We have a zoning officer?
Kevin Betty, yes.
He told us he wasn't the zoning officer.
He has been appointed the zoning officer,
Isn't that
council
something?
president for 6 months. And while he trains a new zoning officer. That's in writing.
No, I understand, Mayor. I was just stating what Kevin was said a few weeks ago. So, okay. Well, we'll defer that back to Kevin. I believe that we'll have to table that.
Frankly, I don't have a zoning book memorized, so.
No, I understand. Mr. Shrek, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I'll make a motion to postpone until the next regular scheduled meeting.
Second. Discussion. Roll call vote, Vicki.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGrova?
Yes.
Council President Holmer?
Yes. Okay. Jeez, done with that. We are moving right along. It's going pretty quick. We are at the mayor and administrator reports. Mayor, do you have a report to give to us this
Just a
evening?
couple items.
Yes, sir.
314, I attended the League of Municipalities annual mayor's meeting in Trenton. Sheila Oliver, the lieutenant governor, was the keynote speaker. A couple pieces of important information is that there will be incentives for regionally created shared services through police, VAs, tax assessors, and number 2, she is going to kickstart the urban enterprise zone. And I just got an invitation today from the mayor of Plainfield to attend that, so there are 2 good things for Phillipsburg. I also followed up with Mr. Mark Bellin's request for that diversion through Delaware Heights Park. I went over to Green Acres, I met with them. Their response was, you have a diversion, you want another diversion, but they will render a decision in writing from Mr. Bellin. However, I got a call from his boss today. Mr. Bellin has been relieved of his duties. So I will give it to his boss, just to close the loop. On 3/15, I attended Mayor Panto's State of the City address, and I think I shared with you all, I'll share it again, that Mayor Panto included Phillipsburg multiple times as part of an eco-tourism partnership, connecting that bridge from Easton to Phillipsburg, which is a good thing. Last thing is, we declared a snow emergency today, which starts at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I believe, I see that the tax collector report is on here. I believe we were sent that with the email.
Yeah, that was on the back page of the agenda. Yeah.
Did you want to read that? No? Okay. Do you want to read your clerk report? Then I'm going to go ahead and defer to Stan. Stan, I'd like to hear what the engineer has to say.
Thank you for the opportunity, Council President.
Thank you for being here.
I'd just like to bring the council up to date on the projects that we are working on and proceeding with. Heckman Phase 1 and 2, of which we have DOT funding for. Plans are in my office at 95% complete. At this point, we're sending them to DOT for final review before we go to bid. I expect that they will go to bid sometime in April and proceed with another spring project. Tonight, you approved a resolution to support our application from 3 weeks ago that we made to DOT for discretionary aid funding for Hackman Street Phase 4. This is very important as we receive funding for Hackman Street Phase 3. So you know Hackman Street Phase 1 is from Chambers to Wilson. Phase 2 is from Wilson to Lincoln. That's the project we'll have out to bid now. Phase 3, which we were successful for, was Lincoln to the DPW or the Armory building. We submitted as our second priority this year, Phase 4, but nobody gets 2 the same year, but it gets you in line for priority. The following year, of understanding that funding is in place with DOT, we submitted for Phase 4 and discretionary aid. This would give us a project with good economy of scale. We can do those together. So discretionary aid requires letters of support. We had a very good letter of support from the Housing Authority, from Mayor Rummerfield, Police Chief. The Mayor made contacts down to DOT, so I'm fairly confident that we'll be looking at that with good favor. Talked to Bob Lowe, there would be funding available, so if that comes through, we'll be at a good point where we could go to bid on Phase 3 and 4. Might be a different contractor, might be the same one depending on how the bids are. So looking forward to a favorable response on that. Downtown crosswalk replacement, which is Councilman Lutz's favorite project. I did tell him tonight that the contractor is expected to get back to work down there the 3rd week in April. That corresponds with the train activity down there. It should all be over by then. We're working with the police now to try to find the best way to do that, minimize traffic control, possibly weekend work to accomplish that. Councilman Lutz says seeing is believing, so hopefully we can follow through on that April 3rd date. We're rejecting bids for ADA ramps projects. We have a grant from DCA under small cities. This is a HUD-funded project, and it's extremely stringent as to the requirements for the contractor. Our estimate for the project was $280,000. However, to qualify the contractors, they effectively have to be a DBE, a disadvantaged business entity. And there's very stringent reporting qualifications for that. The smaller contractors that are interested in a job that size apparently don't have the methods of following up with that. So we only had one bidder, and the bidder was nearly double what our estimate was, so we're looking to recheck that. And I frankly like to go back and consider whether we want to continue under DCA for a project that size. The plans are complete. It would be very easy for us to just go back to local aid and get an unrestricted project, and I think we could get better, probably get more sidewalk for the dollars that are out there. So we'll be looking at that and talking to DCA. The Armory project, the redesign is proceeding very well. We don't have comments back from Department of Corrections. I'm expecting those shortly. I'm proceeding though with no comments, are probably good comments. So we're maintaining the schedule. The mechanical, electrical, and plumbing contractor has the plans now, so we're expecting progress. I'd like to come back to the council in a short future and show them that. It would have to be in closed session just to do security discussions with the police station. So that's moving along very well. Good conversations back and forth with the police staff. They've been extremely helpful with their needs. We're also working a new site plan for that building. The municipal building, we're working on 2 preliminary designs, one to relocate the municipal building, one to refurbish Corliss. Our team met with the mayor a few weeks ago, and the mayor, I think he's proper at that, asked for input from department heads. So we created a form to pass around, discussion, and they came back with their needs. But what we found, storage of records and other things is prevalent throughout the existing municipal building. The department head should go back and take a good look as to what is actually required and what can disposed of, and more importantly, what can be stored electronically to save space, because it doesn't make sense going forward that we're going to build square footage and maintain and perpetuate for a long time for something that we don't need. So I think the mayor's working on that now. That puts me behind about 2 weeks as to when I can come back to council, but I will ask to come back at either a special meeting or a workshop to review those options. So I feel we're proceeding very well. We have a very good team working on that. IR project with a new developer, Bridge Development. We had a meeting with their entire design team, and there's several engineering firms involved in this. It was Chester Partnership, which did the preliminary plans. That went before the planning board. There's McDonough Ray, which is a traffic engineer. There's Milliken Tully, their geotechnical engineer. There's an environmental engineering firm. There's a firm that's designing the detention basin, which is in effect a Class 5 dam due to the size of the basin. All that's moving through other regulatory agencies. It was a very, very productive meeting. I have compliance plans back now from our planning board review back in June that we're working through. Had contact today with another attorney that's working for the project, and that's going to be moving forward. We questioned them on the soil import. Remember all the discussions we had over a year ago about the use of alternative fill. They have approval now for 530,000 cubic yards of alternative fill to come into that site. And with council meetings, we were talking with hundreds of trucks per day hauling material in. We never got that far. We had days we had maybe 4 trucks. We sat there all day. I had my inspector on site, and they had the waste station open. None of that happened, but it's actually a good thing too, because the LSRP received donor sites to look at over 300 donor sites and approve 27 based on the material. The new developer will be taking a different approach. He has other sites he'll be looking at. Plus, they'll be starting the Lopakon piece at the same time they're starting ours, so they'll be able to do a balance of the fill, be able to bring some fill over from Lopakon. They'll be filled, taking out where the detention basin is going to be, and that's going to balance out. So that's going to ramp up shortly, and I'll keep the council informed on that. But the progress is very good. The team that's involved is the right people to do the job. The experience is very evident. The meeting last week was attended by the mayor and also by Rich, so very, very happy with that. Thursday night, planning board, Angela Knowles, our town planner, will be discussing downtown redevelopment. A year ago, we had a design charrette downtown. What a design charrette is, we open it up to the public. Anybody can come in and show us what your ideas are for the downtown. And there were ideas flowing all over. People are making sketches and things, but Angela has a good network of other planners. And these guys like to get together on Saturdays and design things. So they came in with these opportunities and they came together and really put something together that I thought was very attractive to the downtown. As an engineer, I'm a licensed planner, but I'm more of an engineer. I look at planning documents as spiral thing you put in the bookshelf and whatever goes forward. But they maintain good continuity of what's required under the redevelopers agreement, what's environmental constraints we have, what the flood requirements are down there, and came together with a very good idea. So we'll be presenting this to the council, or rather to the planning board on Thursday night. And that ties in with, Mayor, I'm going to mention that OZ now. Under the new tax plan, the federal tax plan, they gave an opportunity for municipalities based on economic demographics and opportunities for growth, for new development. In effect, it creates a federal pilot where any capital gains tax is essentially forgiven if a developer stays within 10 years. So, and it's
it just opens up possibilities of bringing developers in. So if we can get a good redevelopment plan for the downtown we'll agree on, do the necessary needs analysis, and Rich would advise on that, we could proceed with an RFP and probably attract a developer. And this just links in with everything that he's done, and it's pretty exciting what we could possibly do. So we'll be discussing that on Thursday night. And I can't read the rest of my writing, so that's it.
Sam.
Stan, what about the speed bumps that we could?
Oh, that's it. That's what I can't read.
Oh, there
That's what I was gonna ask.
Speed is what bothers me.
I wrote it in red. That's my road study. That's the road assessment. That is, the study itself is completed. The speed bumps, the traffic calming is taking a little more work, and we're working with the police department because what we have to do is do a speed study. Because you can put traffic calming in where you have a certain percentile over what your speed limit is. They have speed counters they're putting out. They were reluctant to put it out during the winter period. If we have snow, it has to move. If there's a snow emergency, it has to move. So I think once we get past this next storm, we're going to gear up and get that speed study done, and we can do a report on that. I did attend a seminar down at Rutgers on traffic calming, and that was one of the things they brought up. You have to have that speed study to really support anything. So that's moving forward. But the road assessment's done. We'll show that to the council where we actually rated the roads by the type of pavement, the distress, what the utility requirements are, et cetera. We can put together a really, really competent plan. Thank you for reminding me.
Thank you, Stan.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was the same question. No, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Okay, public petitions, this is where the time the public gets to come up and speak to us. So feel free to take the podium. Say your name and address for the record.
I'm Joe Miner. I live at 392 South Main Street, Phillipsburg. The next meeting of the present committee will be at 394 South Main Street on Sunday, March 25th, from 1:45 to 3 p.m. Once again, 394 South Main Street on Sunday, March 25th, from 1:45 p.m. to 3 p.m. What will attract desirable homeowners? That's what we're working on. It's open to the public. If you attend, you are a member. The agenda will be homesteading, roommating, and rent control. If you have a plan, please bring it in writing. And to, get in, that's it.
Thank you, Joe.
Sure.
Any other public petitions? Mr. Bullock,
I said, are you sure?
state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name is Ed Bullock. I live at 344 Warren Street. And I have a question about the Ray Craft license. Do they have a history of violations there? Does anybody know? Have there been public complaints about their business being there? Does anybody know if they're polluting there or doing anything illegal there?
Mr. Bullock, to be quite honest with you, well, the mayor states that he can answer it, but I'm going to go ahead first.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't believe, I spoke with Mr. Kraft. I know that I guess there was some contamination from the former owner, but I don't believe that it carried over into Mr. Kraft's tenure, but I haven't heard any complaints.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking this is my family was in the business 70 years. My dad sold thousands of tons of cast iron steel to Shamoon Industries, which is now McQueen. He sold, my grandfather was a partner at Eastern Iron and Metal. I grew up in this environment, and I grew up hearing where people like Mr. Lutz said, and I take exception to that, okay, because I think it's very trite to say we don't need a junkyard in town. Well, of course we don't need one, but you have a legitimate business from what you're telling me that's been here for many years, okay? And if they don't have any violations, and my father was president of the United New Jersey Auto Salvage Association, by the way, and I heard many cases where there were people, where there were governing bodies who just said, we're not going to renew your license without cause, that were sued and lost, okay?
Mostly it's because they're dirty-looking businesses, or, you know, they're looked at often as second-class businesses because people don't like to see them, like Mr. Look states. I think to say we don't need a junkyard here is so general that I would not like to see the rest of your council make decisions without saying, I don't think we should have this for X, Y, and Z concrete reasons. And I do take it personally because my family was in the business. People in this business, they work hard. They're hardworking people. They're smart businessmen, just like many other businessmen. They send their kids to college, as my parents did to me, so I could come up here and have this type of communication with you. So I just hope that you're fair, because I know how this works. And when I think of the situation as posed, I say to myself, it appears to me we have much worse problems that are right in view of the public, okay, speaking in terms of South Main Street and other parts of the town, that we would much more want to have be a more desirable looking situation and be a better image for the town, but they're not in as public a site or setting as South Main Street is, which my business is there. Many days I just say it looks like a trash bin. There's garbage everywhere. There are buildings that are deteriorating, and I would hope that that's your first focus. And I would hope that if the Kraft family is doing what they're supposed to be doing according to your ordinances, that you do allow them to continue doing business, you don't take away their livelihood, and you don't take away the hardworking people who are laborers in the junk business, okay? They're hardworking laborers, that it's just not a fanciful, denigrating thought that we don't need a junkyard in town. Thanks.
Mr. Bullock, thank you for your comment. Councilman Lutz, did you want to wait till overtime, open time?
No, I'd like to answer it now. Mr. Bullock, I'm glad you said some stuff, because number one, your family owned a junkyard in Harmony Township, is that correct?
Their first one was in Phillipsburg, and that brings me up to a point that I missed. If you're going to redevelop there, fine. Where my father and grandfather's first business was, actually it was my grandfather, taken over by my father and uncle, was where the Green Street School is. And the town decided they wanted to build a school, and by eminent domain said, you have to move, we're taking the property. I'm perfectly fine with that if you're going to do that in that location or any location where it's, you know, that type of situation. But it was in Phillipsburg. And then when the town bought that property and built the Green Street School, they moved to Harmony. But, you know, there was encroachment there also. Now, my father and uncle sold when they decided they wanted to retire, but they often dealt with the same thing. My grandfather did, my dad and my uncle did. And, you know, they went to court. They dealt with council going back to the 40s for the same situations and got their licenses renewed, but had to fight for it. And it was basically because, and you have to remember, Phillipsburg back in the 30s, there was not the development there is now. So when my grandfather started that business, he could do that. But then as people wanted to live around it, and I completely understand that when you're going to build new homes and and the town is going to grow, you don't want to be building it around the salvage yard. No problem with that whatsoever. What I'm talking about is that you're fair to them, that you're fair. But it was in Phillipsburg.
Right. Now, the other question that I have, I know you don't live down on South Main Street or Mercer Street or in that area. You should come down on a Sunday morning when the equipment is running and it's supposed to be nice and quiet on a Sunday morning.
By ordinance, is it supposed to be nice and quiet?
No.
Okay. I understand completely what you're saying. I know that it has to be an inconvenience, but I can't give you a better answer than, that's why I said what I said. You have ordinances. If they're following the ordinances, and I know that that makes heads but.
Yeah, but we were told a couple of years ago that the Ray Crafts were moving. Right now, they hardly have anything in that lot. The only thing that they're storing is Atlantic States pipe for recycling.
Okay.
That's the only thing they're doing right now. But years ago, it was terrible down there. It didn't matter, 9, 10 o'clock at night, that they'd be clanging and clinging, doing everything.
Well, they're supposed to have hours of operations according to your ordinance, because I
Right,
know
and they
my
don't.
father and uncle had
Right,
to
and they
abide
didn't
by
go
those
by it.
hours.
Right, they didn't go by it, because many of times people came to my house and complained about it.
I hear the same thing about McWayne from people who live on Seagrave Street.
Right, right.
Mhm.
But now, like I said, it's done, but a couple of years ago, we were told, and Rich says, well, the attorney says, well, they have already paid their fee, so you have to accept it. So that's what we did for the past couple of years. But now it's getting to the point where I thought there was gonna be, we were promised redevelopment was gonna break, what, 10 years ago or whatever? It was gonna break, and they didn't want them in there. They were
That's
gonna
all
make a
fine.
road, they were gonna make a road down on Center Street, right through the property.
Yep.
Okay?
I'm
Nothing
fine
ever
with
happened.
that, yep, I understand completely that.
Yeah.
Where is the
And they don't-
redevelopment that was supposed to start 10 years ago? Do you have something in place? Is there something in writing? Is there documentation about it? If there's not,
Yeah, there
it's
is-
a dead
there is
issue.
stuff in writing.
It's a dead issue.
Yes, there is stuff in writing.
Okay, it's in writing to do what?
To build houses back.
To build houses, and who is going to do that?
Ferrucci.
Okay, then why isn't it not going forward? I don't have any, I'm not involved in those issues.
Yeah.
Why is it not going forward? If it's going forward, then there's other discussion about this that's not going on now.
Yep.
Excellent. Gentlemen, I would just say that because it's not a debate, if after the meeting you wish to speak, I would go ahead and do that then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next.
John Gutfeld, 132 Chambers Street. A couple meetings ago, I came up and asked about the sign directly across from the Free Bridge. Is there an answer for that? I was told at that meeting that it was something the mayor had to deal with, for the Teddy Steiner banner.
Right, I believe someone said they were going to speak with the mayor, and I think that's Mr. Guerrero's building. Mayor, is there the signage ordinance permits that, correct?
I do believe it does permit it. We have a meeting coming up with the Phillipsburg Historic Commission, and they are reviewing those signs. You'd be welcome to attend those meetings, and they will be on my Facebook page.
All right, because I just think it looks tacky.
I agree.
It does.
It looks terrible.
And the second thing is, can we do something about all the TVs laying all over town?
Call truck.
Watch them? Nah, I'm just kidding.
I know people are supposed to be, I believe it is on a Wednesday, bring it down to the armory, but obviously they can't get them there, or they don't know about it. There's TVs in between Lewis and Chambers Street in the alley for almost 2 years.
Really?
And I believe there's one on the corner right up from Old Freeman School, Borough Hall now, towards Hudson Street, against garbage bin that's been there for 1.5 years.
Have you called the municipal building to report them?
That house on Chambers, on Lewis Street, has been reported numerous times.
Do you know who they reported it to?
No, I don't.
I would encourage
But
everyone.
not only is there TVs there, there's a big pile of garbage.
Okay. Mayor, I divert to you. Who would they encourage to speak? Normally I would say extension 303, but I'm not sure if that's where you want every complaint to go.
It would be Patty Hutch, who would notify DEP or myself to make a pickup, but I want to share something about these televisions.
Do you have the extension real quick, Mayor?
314.
314? Thank you, Vicki.
The televisions, we've been looking at this for 2 years now. There's no doubt in my mind that there are people that are collecting these televisions. They take out precious metals and then they dump them in various spots along an alley. They're strategically placed so far apart. The quicker, as fast as we pick them up, as fast as they throw them out. And so we petitioned the police department, and they had installed cameras in Cedar Alley and in Spruce Alley to try to we have to catch them. And it's a business. There's no doubt it's a business. We almost had one gentleman nailed down and he got arrested. That's what they're doing. They're actually picking up these junk televisions and taking out precious metals and then dumping them back in the alleys. And it's a huge problem, just as big as couches and mattresses are. I believe that's also a business. I believe there's out-of-towners coming and dumping mattresses and couches in our town, junk cleaners. So hopefully we'll catch them, but in the meantime, of course, we can't leave them lay in the alleys, and I'll talk to the DPW supervisor tomorrow.
Okay.
Do you know exactly?
It's on Lewis, in the alley between Lewis and Chambers, between Hudson Street and Summit Street.
Okay.
That section of that alley's probably got about 4 or 5 TVs in it.
Lewis and Chambers. Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else?
Round 3.
State your name and address for the record.
Liz Paulus, 26A Glen Avenue. Yes, the appearance of the town really needs work. As Mr. Luck has said, I think we need to keep what businesses we do have here and deal with that on an individual basis. As far as the noise, maybe the ordinance needs to be reviewed. I just recently reported dumpsters that have been on some of the side streets for months. Some of the dumpsters have been filled to the top for several months, and they haven't moved. There's been no work being done in the properties. I found out that Patty is the person to contact. One of the dumpsters never had a permit. She reported back to me today that the owner said it would be moved either today or tomorrow. So what's the consequence for somebody having a dumpster there that never had a permit? She never got back to me when I asked that question. The other dumpster, oh, that permit expired 2 weeks ago. The owner would come in today or tomorrow to renew that permit. The other dumpster on Glen, now those were the dumpsters on Schultz Avenue. Because one of the reasons why I inquired about it is, that, that's a newly paved street, and these dumpsters have been there for months. So what kind of damage is being done to that new pavement? As well as, one of the reasons why I reported it was because the front door of the one property has been wide open for the last 2 days that I'm aware of. I found out that Chief Hay was informed of that last night because the smoke detector was going off. The door's still open. So what if a child went into that property? With the weather that's expected in the next day or two, somebody that's homeless could possibly go in there, start the house on fire. And the houses are very close in that neighborhood. We're going to have some major issues. And now, the thing is, town officials are aware of this, and nothing's been done. What's it going to take for somebody to get killed? For quicker action to be taken? The other dumpster that I called about or emailed about was on Glen Avenue. Patty said that, she was told that it's in the side yard. Well, the side yard is actually partially the driveway and the sidewalk. That also has been filled for several months, and there's nothing being done about it. So I think these are the things that should be easy to be addressed to help clean up the appearance of the town. Vicki, congratulations. I think, it's well deserved that you're getting reappointed. And I want to point out that in me opening some of these documents, I'm discovering some of the things that's been happening that the majority of the public is not aware of. And what I see, Vicki is working in a very hostile environment. Some of the emails that I received through my Oprah request, the mayor has created this environment, not only with the work environment, with the governing body, as well as the public, which people that have been attending the meetings have witnessed. Social media has been a big factor in creating this hostile environment. This is one of the reasons why I fully support an ethics board or a committee be formed here, because these are the things that need to be addressed. Do you really think the state is going to be bothered with some of this stuff? They're not going to take this into consideration in a timely manner that really it needs to be done, because we have been experiencing this. Like I said, I've been attending the meetings for almost a year. It has to be taken care of as soon as possible. And again, Councilman Davis, really, I think it's inappropriate for you to make the statement that you made in reference to the clerk. You have no idea the circumstances that she's working under, and I truly believe she deserves a public apology from you.
I agree with that. Oh, yeah. Could you, Davis, give her an apology?
Emil Brisson, 94 Goldman Street in Phillipsburg.
Thank you, Mr. Brisson.
Just want to go back to the discussion about the approval of the town clerk position. I have to disagree with some of the things that have been said. I think that Councilman Davis was professional in expressing his thoughts. He talked about the things that were concerning him. He certainly has a right as a citizen as well as a council member to express his opinions about that. Council President, I thought that your comments were unprofessional, and I think they were unnecessary. I think you knew you had the 3 votes that you needed to get her approved, at least 3 votes. And I think that it was just an attack on Councilman Davis that was unnecessary and I think embarrassing. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Joan Pierce, 119 Lower Street. I'm appalled. I am really appalled. I have a couple of issues. My father always told me, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. If you can't say anything nice and productive because you haven't been in that person's shoes, then don't say a damn thing. That's number one. Number two, I've been born and raised in this town all my life, which brought to my attention that the end of Washington Street has skates. Is there a reason why? I think it's Fairview Heights that has gates. Do we plow that? Do we take the garbage? It has gates, black gates.
Council President.
That's Fairview Road, right?
Okay.
Private property.
Do we pick up the garbage?
We do.
Do we plow that section?
We don't.
If it's private, then why are we picking up the garbage?
I'd have to look into that. That's before me, but I will ask the question.
Because I look at it this way, no disrespect, Mayor, that if we're maintaining it, we're picking up the garbage, take the gates down.
Yeah, man.
We don't maintain it, but I do know they pick up the garbage. I will endeavor to find out how that happened.
And why is there gates there? Are they above the means of?
I can't answer that. Private property.
Respect.
No, they're black gated.
Are there multiple owners on that road?
Yes.
You know that.
So,
Is it a gate, so is it an association?
I'm not sure. I just.
Can you please speak into the mic, please? We came here.
Mr. Morissette lives there.
Mayor.
oh, okay. Then maybe you can answer my question.
The one thing we can't do is engage with other audience members, but if Mr. Morissette wishes to come up and state his case, he's more than welcome to. It is a public petition. Are you finished?
Yeah, feel free.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Morissette, just state your name and address for the record, please.
David Morissette, 5 Fairview Heights, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. The private drive is a deeded property to the 3 residents that live on that drive. And we're responsible for clearing the snow. And technically, for example, every Tuesday I take my garbage outside the gate, and it's picked up by the truck drivers. Okay. Occasionally, when the garbage has been not taken up, the trucks do back down, and that's I take mine out every day, or every Tuesday,
So the town picks it up, correct?
outside of the gates.
Either way.
Either way, the town still picks it up, correct?
Again, we're not going to debate back and forth. Correct.
They pick up everything. They pay taxes.
The town has always picked up the garbage when it is on the private road, or, I'm sorry, on the public road
outside of the gate. That's normal practice. And it's been that way since the 1920s. I'm not sure what the gates are there. The gates have been there since approximately the 1920s. Now, it is true that we have new gates because the stonework that was there, and it was an 8-foot span between the two stone gates. The stonework came apart, so when the gate was replaced, it was replaced with a 12-foot gate. It is an iron gate, and the gates are on private property.
So my next question is, if there's a fire, who's
Can
gonna
you-
put your house out of fire? Sorry.
No, that's okay. I would only ask that if you're going to discuss anything with Mr. Morissette, that you would do so in
Well, I'm
private.
bringing it before council because I look at it this way. If there's a fire there, are our firemen gonna be able to get in there and save their lives?
I would imagine, because his public safety is at risk.
But if they're closed and locked?
The gates are not locked. The gates can be open for public access. Not for the public to access, but if a fireman needs to come in, or the police need to go through, or a town official has to drive through for some reason, the post office, they can drive through. They're there to stop people from cutting through because it's private property.
Thank you, Mr. Morissette. Thank you. State your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Rachel Kleiner. I live at 318 Ohio Avenue. And Vicki is my mom. I recently moved home after being abroad for 7 years. And I've seen the sacrifices that she's had to make for her job. And that includes me not spending more than 5 minutes with her in the 2 weeks that I've been home. And in light of the recent discussions, and I'm sorry, I don't agree with whoever said that, but I don't believe that it's professional or professional to call people dumb or stupid or however it was phrased. So I personally don't appreciate that, but I can go into that when I'm a little bit calmer. And I would really hope, Councilman Davis, we went to school together, we grew up together, and we learned the same favorite morals, and I think we're pretty good people. And I would really hope that you would be man enough and adult enough to give her an apology, because I believe that's certainly in order. And that's all I have.
Ms. Klein, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, there being none, we will move forward to council open time, and I will start with Councilman Lutz.
The only thing I have is, since we passed the parking lot, I think we need an ordinance for the meters on South Main Street.
I agree.
At the same time, so we can bring that up for discussion in that closed session.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Council, did you hear that? We'd like to get a,
Yes, we were talking about earlier?
Yes.
Yes, that's on the list. That's okay.
And talking to Bill, Bill said that according to Dale, the meters do work from the Black Bridge down to Union Square, right, Bill? So, but I like to have the whole South Main Street where there's meters.
Market Street parking lot.
excellent. Okay, Council Vice President DiGirolamo.
Just actually one reminder. I will leave the information here again if anyone is interested in the Phillipsburg Rotary Club event. It is their 11th annual Corks and Forks of the Valley, Monday, April 30th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Flynn's. The information is up here, as well as ticket information. And secondly, somebody sent me something just this week, so I'm going to share it because I found it amusing, because it was from the Free Press and it happens to be from the year I was born. But this is what was happening that summer, so it's a little bit of nostalgia, but I think it's a positive. It's under the recreation heading, and it was swimming. The Walters Park Municipal Pool was open daily from noon to 8:30 p.m. Admission for children under 18 was 75 cents. Adults were $1, and a family pass was $25. Adult swims were held every Wednesday from 8 to 11 p.m. We used to stay out later back then. And you could do that for $1 a night. Playground activities. July Boys and girls softball leagues began. There was a local pit hitch throw contest, Walters Park. 14th, wild animal farm trip for $2 for all local Phillipsburg youth. Thursday, July 15th, Junior Olympics were held at Walters Park. The trend I noticed was we used to have a lot of events for the community at Walters Park, and I don't think we do enough of that anymore. So as I looked at this and laughed at the pool fees, it's something I hope, as we see more and more events coming, we can consider utilizing the resources we do have to maybe bring some of these fun events back. We just don't seem to have enough of them during the week, especially in the summer, when we should be enjoying the outdoors. That's all.
If you put an Xbox at Walters Park, my kid.
Then we would need Wi-Fi.
That is true. Councilman Davis.
I'm good, thank you.
You're welcome. Councilman McVeigh.
Last week, I met with the mayor and Chief Stetner at City Hall, and we had a very good discussion regarding safety for here and Freeman School. The mayor was kind enough to allow me to lend an expertise in security. This is off of Mr. Kleiner's open petition before regarding the safety and what's going on at the school. So we moved forward with that. That's something that was, I thought, very productive. There are things in the works. We're just going to, for security reasons, I'm not going to really mention them right now, but confidently speaking, we are moving forward with that. And not only those two places, but all of our public places will properly be assessed and safety the public and more importantly, your safety. With that being said, I did speak with Chief Stetner, who has agreed that the first of the month will be coming, or a representative from his office will be giving a report along with the mayor and the administrative report. So we do look forward to that. I know that's something that we all wanted. Staying in the lines with the mayor, we heard a lot tonight. I know Council Vice President mentioned when we went to our training, and in addition to the mayor even echoed where you went to, even picked up a lot of things off of when we kind of go outside and we get together with other elected officials or get to take in things. You learn a lot. What I would encourage, Mayor, what I would encourage you to do, you being the sole head and heading this in the future, is having a quality of community summit. And I believe that you should share that with people from your office, your department heads, this council, members from our boards, Board of Education, planning boards, historical societies, people to get together for a quality of community summit. And for 1 or 2 days with a clear itinerary, really get to the bottom of things, and not so much a rah-rah speech. We heard a lot tonight about the televisions. We heard a lot tonight about, I know Council President had dealt with mattresses and the bins are coming back again. And as you said, this is something that people are coming in drops. So we got to stop that. Just something to put on. I believe that's something you would head. It would be welcomed by all of the elected officials, in addition to appointed board members, to take ownership. It also puts us on us to take ownership, because it should come from the top and trickle down, and we can get that out to our members of the community. Lastly, with the community, let's try to really support our local businesses. I, for one, enjoy taking a ride to Hunterdon County and different parts of Warren County and over Northampton County and doing different things over there. But if I want a haircut, if I want a cheesesteak, if it's something that I'm going to really visit local first, especially our mom and pop places that are struggling to make sure that they're meeting their needs and their business plans. Let's try to support. Just think about it. If you're going to get in the car and you're going to travel outside of Phillipsburg, promise me one thing. Just take a second. Remember what I said, and see if there's somebody in town that can do that for you. If it's a meal, if it's a service, if it's just purchasing something. Just think about it. I know we all hit the Amazon, and like I said, go outside here first. But let's also include our folks. Let's not leave our fence. Let's fence in our business, I like to call it, and visit them first. And that's all I have. And please be safe the next couple of days.
Thank you. Well, folks, I will apologize to the crowd for losing my temper this evening. second time I've done this, but I am very, very passionate about how I feel. Very passionate about this town. That's why I ran. And again, doing everything that I was elected to do. Everything. Councilman Davis, I owe you an apology. If my father was here in the audience, he probably would not be proud of me. So I apologize.
I accept your apology, I apologize back.
Good job, John.
Listen, it's not easy being up here. It's not easy being under stress. But we did it, right? So we're up here for a reason. Sad part about it is, even though I apologize, there are things that I can't take back, and I will have to live with that for the rest of my life. And it'll be something that, Councilman, again, it will never happen again. But I can't say sorry enough. I'm not embarrassed. I'm just disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed in the way things are going right now in town, and we have to turn it around. And the only way that happens is with all 5 of us up here, including the mayor, which makes 6. Which means we all have to get on the same page and stop thinking about Democrat and Republican and everything else, because these people out here that attend these meetings, the people that watch them on YouTube, the people that we go and meet every weekend, and everyone that calls me every day, they're the ones that matter. Councilman, do you remember when you first took office and we met at Dunkin' Donuts?
I sure do.
You remember it was during the attorney issue, and we visited a home on Bowman Street that just burnt down to the ground, right?
I do remember that.
And the one thing that I said to you, I don't know if you remember, was the people out here don't care about who the next town attorney is. Right now they're trying to find their next place to live, where they're going to lay their head down at night. There are issues that we will debate back and forth, and there are issues that I can guarantee you that people do not care about. But what they do care about is their quality of life. And that is paramount and should come first and foremost above all. So I'm giving you my personal promise right now that politics will never take a front seat over this town, nor will I ever lose my temper with you like that again.
I appreciate it, thank you.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, and I don't need the applause, I was wrong. Vicky, I did speak with Mayor Wyant and his First Lady. Before, believe it or not, he FaceTimed me. I didn't even know that he knew how to use that. But he is on vacation right now in the warm weather. In, I want to say, did he say Jamaica or Boca Raton? I don't know, but he's happy. Yeah, they went on a cruise. But he wanted to relay his congratulations to you. And, I'm thankful that he called. I think he did try and call you. I don't know. You may have been busy. You run around. But I do want to congratulate you tonight. Congratulate Lori. And, folks, be safe out there. Tomorrow's going to be bad. Think of our DPW workers. They're going to be out all night. Yeah, I know we need to continue with motions, so that's all I have. The approval for raffle license number RL1268 issued to Rotary Club for an off-premise raffle on April 30th, 2018 at Flynn's on the Hill.
So moved.
Second. Second. Discussion. Roll call vote, Vicki.
Councilman Litz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo? Yes. Council President Fulper?
Yes. Approval for fees to be waived for the special event application for Norwestcap for an event on May 3rd, 2018, the 18th annual Frolic in the Park at Walters Park.
So moved.
Second?
Have a discussion?
Yes.
So do we traditionally waive for all nonprofits, use of electric, garbage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah.
All nonprofit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sounds like she's got
I
something
don't
in the works. She
know
better
if
answer
qualify
that.
I don't know if that's 100% correct.
Why I'm asking?
Yeah, no, it's
Just
on a
wanna be
case-by-case
clear.
basis. I think we evaluate the merits of the individual application.
Yeah, typically it's charitable.
Yes, there we go. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Roll call vote, Vicki.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Polk?
Yes. There's no school tomorrow. No, I know, I just got the text. So, move for adjournment.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Enjoy your evening.